Rambo, this is Murdoch. We're glad you're alive. Where are you? Give us your position and we'll come to pick you up.
Murdoch. I'm coming to get you.
Yeah, so... Oh, and by the way, everybody, welcome to Citizen Frame. I am Ciaran, the host, and joining me is Trevor, the usual misfit. Trevor, what's up?
As always, Ciaran, it's great to be here. So it is, and you know...
There you go. That's a lie, but that's
no,
cool.
not at all. Not at all.
I have to say that right away, because the last three podcasts, I've never said that.
Yeah, but I mean, people know, especially the regular listeners.
Exactly. So, but we have some new ones.
Yes.
So we are now on iHeartRadio.
Yep. We're branching out.
Yeah, an FM player. So
yep.
Welcome you listeners from both sites. We're going to be going. I don't know how it works with the FM sites, to be honest with you, but welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell all your friends about us as well, and your family.
Yeah.
Post about us.
Something's going
on social media.
You crazy bastards keep listening.
Yeah.
We're picking up downloads and our followers are picking up on Instagram. So, guys, it's greatly appreciated.
Definitely.
So for sticking with us and get some fun stuff coming down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But again, thank you guys. Appreciate it. But we're here to talk. What you guys all here to hear about is Rambo 2.
The greatest film ever made. Or at least, that's what I thought when I was 10 years old. Yeah.
No, it's funny with this one because we talked Rocky 4 in the podcast a year or so ago. And as from the podcast eyes, I loved Rocky 4 when I was growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. I wanted to be a boxer genuinely wanted to take up boxing after watching Rocky 4.
Yeah, and Nuala loved it. Myself and Chris appreciated it and loved Drago, and the boxing was brilliant. But it got to the point where it didn't work with the montages, especially when you see spin-offs like Creed, Rocky Balboa, not Rocky 5, that was shit, but and the Rockies before that. They're so solid character-driven films where I thought Rocky 4 was out of place.
Yeah.
So I couldn't give it the pass I wanted to. Still enjoy it, don't get me wrong.
Silly fun.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be with Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Cobra not too long ago, where his one-line dialogues doesn't work, but it does work for the likes of a Chuck Norris or a Schwarzenegger. He was trying to fit in with the muscle action stars that were kicking in. And as fun as the film can be, and bad as the film can be, at the end of the day, it doesn't
work
Stallone style, because at this point, Stallone has already been proven to be an Oscar-nominated actor.
Yes. With
great roles from Rocky, Nighthawks, and First Blood.
Stallone can't really do comedy, whereas Arnie can do the sort of tongue-in-cheek, dry comedy.
Yeah. He did Oscar, which I kind of liked.
Mm-hmm.
But, you're right. So, this is where this kind of started, and it always threw me off because I think we all agree, especially you and I, Trevor, First Blood is, I think, next to Rocky, Stallone's best film.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, it's obviously it's the best in the Rambo series, but I also think it is one of the best drama films. I know it's an action film as well, to deal with the treatment of the Vietnam veterans during that war, but also on their return home. It is brilliant stuff.
Now with Cobra, you said, and it kind of stuck with me, Cobra, the ego, got to Stallone a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of shows here.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll explain what happened. So James Cameron, we all know, don't have to mention, don't have to give him his resume, wrote this. And he actually wrote it with First Blood in mind, because so there was a lot of flashbacks of the POWs he saves, what they went through, kind of like what they did with Rambo on the first one, and make it a more darker tale and more about the POWs. And that was the script that was given, and that's the only script James Cameron sent in. Then Stallone got rid of all that stuff, and made it more about himself and his drive.
Yeah,
and it shows here Because the great thing about First Blood, first of all, Stallone was not supposed to be in this because Rambo was supposed to be dead.
He dies in the novel.
Yeah, he dies in the original one. Well, they obviously changed the editing, ending, that is. And at least it showed what he was dealing with his flashbacks and stuff like that. So we got that. So Cameron was just trying to branch that out to more of another POW's point of view, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Stallone didn't want to address that. It's more about Rambo. So this is where maybe his ego started kicking in a bit.
Oh, definitely. It was around this period of the 80s that, Stallone's ego was basically in outer space, and it shows in his films, such as this, Rambo 3 as well, Rocky 4, which we just mentioned, and also Cobra, and I'm sure there's others.
Yeah, and at this time you had a lot of MIA films coming out. Because in the 70s, you kind of had, in early 80s, you had the Vietnam story.
Yes.
Whether it's through Boys of Company C, a film I really like, or Apocalypse Now. And then you had, First Blood kind of tweaked it more to now on, U.S. soil, The Aftermath.
Yes.
And then you had Uncommon Valor, which is a nice little film people should see. I really enjoyed that one with Gene Hackman. Well, POWs. You had Mission in Action. Chuck Norris
films. I remember them. Yep.
Yeah, they were coming out. So he pretty much jumped on the bandwagon with Rambo 2.
Yes, Blood. And then you also had later you had Casualties of War, De Palma, and Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
Well, yeah, but those were you're right, but those are more war films. Where this isn't. This is more action. Rescue, search and rescue.
I was talking more about Vietnam film types in general, because I remember, and this sounds weird because even though we were from, I grew up in Northern Ireland, Belfast, whenever we were kids, there was this weird obsession with all of the kids that basically I knew anyway for Vietnam, the Vietnam War, but also Vietnam War films. Obviously, this was sparked by the likes of Rambo and stuff. So I just, looking back, it just seems a bit strange because, Britain or, Northern Ireland had no involvement whatsoever in those wars. But I remember, as kids, it was almost like an obsession with this, Vietnam War and, But yeah, I remember that growing up. And also, I have to say as well, American football was really big here at that time too. So yeah, it's just, I suppose, there's sort of, different types of American culture that always do transfer over here,
Well, yeah, I think cinema does that in general, though. Worldwide.
Yes.
It reaches a massive audience. The sad thing is, we talked about Common Valor and First Blood.
Yeah.
Which I think are, Common Valor is a little Hollywood. I'll give you that. Patrick Swayze's in it.
Well, not wrong with that.
But yeah, so Rambo 2 jumped on the bandwagon. They wanted to jump on the mission, the Uncommon Valor, Mission in Action kind of franchise. And this is where we got. So we're going to talk about Rambo 2. He's, let's talk about the opening. Okay?
He's in jail on a chain gang.
He's in a chain gang working on the road chain. Was that song?
Back on the chain gang.
I like the fact it opens with him doing hard time for what he's done. Despite us rooting for him in the last one, he kind of did deserve to do some time.
Well, he was an anti-hero. He was a brilliant anti-hero in the first one. And the sequels, to be fair.
And we got a visit from Troutman, and he goes, "You get a full pardon." If we found some vets, and all we need you to go in is to recon, go in, make sure they're there.
Just take photos.
And he's like, "Whoa, I might do what? Hey.
Leave them there? We have to leave them there?"
Oh my God. I forgot. I forgot how bad you're. I mean, mine's bad enough. So long story, it's quite a simple story, which I think that's the problem. It should be a little deeper than what we're getting. Because First Blood did that.
There is flashes of depth there.
Oh, yes, there is.
And flashes of Cameron's original, more serious script. And I'm just sort of segue a bit here, but I'll keep it brief. Well, basically, as an adult, I've always had sort of memories of Rambo 2, a film I absolutely loved as a kid and watched it repeatedly. I always had sort of, as an adult, I always thought of it as a bit silly. But it's watching it for the podcast, it's not quite as silly as it has a reputation for. Because there is some serious stuff there. Looking about the treatment of the American government to their own soldiers and stuff before and after and during the Vietnam War.
It's funny you say that because beginning of this podcast, you all think we're about to rip on this.
Yeah.
I'm actually not.
Same here.
I'm actually think it's not this body count over the top testosterone film that I remembered it as it was.
Yes. Yeah.
It is it does fall off the,
especially towards the end.
Yeah, it's more, it's just killing everything. But there is a message here, and I got it.
Yes, 100%. And I think that's more flashes of Cameron's original script seeping through.
So when Troutman asked him, you want to go, well, originally he thinks it's just to save some POWs. So he's like, yeah, man, yeah, no problem. Mm-hmm. And then we meet the bad guy, Murdoch. I love Charles Napier.
Oh, brilliant actor. Silence of the Lambs, Star Trek. He was basically in everything.
He's a character actor. He usually plays a douche.
Yeah, Murdoch. He plays in this. Yeah.
And I was waiting for you to bring up fucking Silence of the Lambs. You always bring that.
Yeah.
But
he plays the cop, one of the cops that Lecter eats in his escape.
Yes, that's right. He gets technically he gets crucified. Makes him an angel. And
yes, and his innards ripped out.
So when he goes and Murdoch tells him all you need to do is take photo evidence and they get back out. And the reason they want Rambo to do this is because he was in this POW area and he escaped, so he knows the terrain.
Better than anyone. Yeah.
Better than anyone. So Troutman is pretty much on board because he realized this is the guy to do it because it's Rambo.
And he wants to get Rambo out of jail as well.
And he wants to get Rambo out of jail because he kind of blames himself. Mm-hmm. It just had the lines, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because Troutman, even in the First Blood, Troutman gives the cheesiest lines over any of the characters.
He's like a sort of cheesy John Wayne type character, the Colonel type character. Yeah, the mentor, Colonel, John Wayne sort of guy.
What you choose to call hell,
he calls home. Oh, it's pure. That's a pure 80s line, yeah.
And then when he accepts the mission, This is pure Rambo because this I know Commando came out the same year, but I'm sure Commando took from it a bit because you had the whole dress sequence.
Yes, so why?
Yeah, the Bowie knife was so popular. The Bowie knife was so cool. They're on the plane and he gets caught.
Yes.
And he's got to cut all of his gear off.
Nobody can survive that. Apart from Rambo.
Yeah. So he has to cut most of his gear.
Yeah.
Now, does he find most of that gear again?
No. My impression was at the time and watching it was that he lost a lot of gear. So whenever he's actually in the jungle, he only has the bare minimum, like the knife and the crossbow.
Well, he seems to come up with quite a bit of.
That's because he's Rambo.
I mean, he's unlimited supply of grenade. By the way, the grenade arrows are the fucking coolest thing in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the death of the Vietnamese commander later on with the the crossbow. And
I mean, it's just this.
Yeah.
Hello, Rambo.
Yeah.
But here's where the problem I have with the film. I feel that he gets dropped in there, and it seems very easy for him to maneuver around. And there's a couple things I have a problem with because I'll give you an example. In the original First Blood, he didn't really know the terrain. Supposedly, he knows this terrain.
Yes.
But he's been dropped miles away from his drop zone. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see more of him trying, like in the first one. More of a struggle trying to find the landscape, familiarize. There's a scene where a snake pops up. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and he
grabs it. And it's a fake snake.
Because Rambo's reflexes are even better than a snake. Because he's Rambo.
That was their way of he knows the terrain.
Yeah.
Like, that's just stupid. No. Yeah. I mean, give us something.
It was a bit rushed.
Yes. You just want to. That's one thing. The playing time here is like 90 something minutes.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at that because I looked at the runtime before, rewatching it for the podcast. And I always thought that was a bit longer. That's a bit short,
I will say this. Do you know what this, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me here. When you watch this film, especially like the cool stuff, like when he's camouflaged in the dirt.
Yeah.
And he opens his eyes.
Booby traps.
I fucking love that shit. This movie was obviously a staple for Predator.
Yes, 100%.
Because I think Predator takes a lot from this film.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Basically, Predator is Rambo with an alien in it.
Yeah.
But also, as just on that sort of note, watching this, for the podcast, Rambo 2, I was thinking to myself that this film is basically 18, but for grown-ups, 18 for adults, in a way. Certain aspects of it. Helicopters, explosions, guns, boom, boom,
Well, wouldn't that be more for the kids?
No, that's what I'm saying. Rambo was basically 18 for adults, What
do you mean?
If that makes sense. It was like,
no.
It was 18 was for kids. So for me, Rambo was more, certainly, it was more sort of, it was like an episode of the 18, but done for adults, in a way.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Mm-hmm. Sort of. Okay, so let's talk about Ko.
Yep.
Should she been written out?
Mm-hmm. No, I think she's a good character. And if not, it would have been even more of an ego show for Stallone. I think she was, I quite liked her. I've always quite liked the character. Okay. It does get a bit cheesy and melodramatic. Especially her death. I know I'm laughing, but it's less like, it's like, Rambo, I loved you.
Wow, we might have to edit that little. Wow, we need some phone calls on that one.
Yeah, indeed.
Wow, that wasn't me, everybody. I'm the professional here on this podcast.
But no, I did laugh. It does get a bit cheesy and melodramatic, and the love sort of aspect of it, the romance aspect of it, does feel a bit contrived. With the I do love the cheesy lines by Stallone. About expendable, all this here, and she's like trying to reassure him, you're not expendable, But I quite like the character, and she did have a point. There was a point to her.
Yeah, to get him out when he gets caught.
Yes.
But they get to the boat, and they're going to betray them.
The pirates.
The pirates, because they hire these pirates to bring them to point A to point B. And they see, he's like, hey, yo, what happens if a U-boat comes? And then the Japanese guy, the Vietnamese guy goes, we're prepared.
Yeah.
And he shows them a rocket launcher or whatever
That's
it is.
right, yeah.
And it's Russian. What the fuck are the Russians doing in Vietnam in this film? I don't get that part.
Right. Well, there's a couple of reasons. It's basically because
that's Podolsky.
Well, it was basically made during the Cold War. So, and very basically, Rambo 2 and Rocky 4 are basically forms of American propaganda against the Russians. I mean, that's pretty sort of out there. But Vietnam was originally a communist sort of state. The Russians at the time were communists. The former Soviet Union, USSR. So they were basically communist bedfellows in reality. And that's how they sort of explain it away in this film. Because the Russians would have seen themselves as the sort of the leaders of the communist world, if you know what I mean. Including all the other communist countries like Vietnam and stuff. So it does make sense. It is a bit sort of convenient, but it does make sense in a historical context, especially with the fact that America was at war with Vietnam, so obviously with communist Vietnam, so obviously the Russians would have had Vietnam's corner.
Okay, I suppose so.
I can accept that, no problem. Much more.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted a little more. Why is Podolsky there?
Yeah, it makes sense in the context of the era and the history.
There's some really good dialogue
with the Russian.
When he's kind of bonding with Ko.
Yes.
And she's talking about how she wants to move to a quiet, better life.
Yep.
Maybe I'll go to the U.S. I'm like, not lately. No, but
well, it goes back to the propaganda. How the U.S. is, this sort of, I don't know, sort of utopia and stuff, and how basically.
Well, I guess maybe where she's coming from, I can kind of see it. But
the Western world, the free world type thing.
Yeah, but he says a line, and it's something I can't remember what. Oh crap! It's so good too. Yeah, he goes, to survive a war.
Yeah.
you have to become war.
You have to become war.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's almost as good as the what he call it. Richard Crenna. Troutman's one earlier on. What he calls what you call hell, he calls home. Yeah. But my favorite line is later on, whenever he actually gets captured by the Russians, and just a second before he escapes.
Oh, that's the best line. We'll get to it. We're gonna get to it. Save it. We'll get. Oh, let's do it. We'll get to that. That is my favorite scene in the film.
Yeah,
it's
actually really fucking good.
I fucking hate Murdoch so bad at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so they escape the boat. They get off the boat, and I
love that. See, when I was a kid, that was fucking. I absolutely. So see with the music and all, love the score. The Rambo score.
Same composer, Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember absolutely. When he does the dive off the boat, like the raft.
Well, this is not this part yet.
Oh right, sorry. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we're at their. They drop them off their point. This is where he gets captured.
Later on he does the dive off the boat. Sorry.
So I like this part because I like stealth games. Like Splinter Cell and all these video games. So I like the Rambo we get here because he's going in slowly. He's taking each one by one. He's quiet and manipulated. He just knows. He just knows what he's doing. It's really cool. It reminded me of when he took out the cops in First Blood.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I like that, paying homage to that. Mm-hmm. And I just love like the use of the arrow, shooting him in the head and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when he gets to a POW, he cuts him down.
Yes.
He's pissed at this point because he was told that this base was supposed to be empty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he just had to take photos of the sort of base or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that there were camps there. He wasn't supposed to find anything, and certainly not bring anything back if he did.
Uh-huh.
This is what you were talking about, how the great thing about First Blood, they kind of showed about how, in all fairness, American citizens treated Vietnam vets.
Yeah, they were treated horrendously.
But here, it's how the government is treating them now.
Yeah.
And pretty much this is where we're at.
The government basically shit on them by sending them out to that horrific war in the first place, but also whenever they come home they were treated awfully. I mean, I have family members in America who one family member who was a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was. I mean, these guys were just ordinary. In reality, these guys were just ordinary working class guys who went and fought for their country, and then came back and were accused of all sorts, and spat on, and as Stallone says in First Blood and stuff. It was. I mean, obviously, I wasn't alive at the time, or I was very, very young. But yeah, it was brutal, their treatment.
Yeah, and they do kind of. Well, the great thing about this one is that they dealt with kind of what you were saying, because Stallone talks about that in the first Rambo, especially when he gives the big speech at the end with Troutman.
Yes,
and it's a great scene. This one deals with, like I said, the government aspect. So
yes,
I like the fact they did not copy and paste.
No, yeah,
they went to a different direction of how these.
And I think that was Cameron.
Yes, that's Cameron's take, 100%.
Yeah.
And Cameron actually wanted to go deeper, like we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, but they went this way. And you know what, guys? This first act, when he takes his POW out, and then he goes to the boat, and the boat gets attacked.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he takes the gun turrets and kicking everyone's ass. It's awesome. It's
brilliant. It's brilliant. And he dives off the boat.
He dives out with the POW. Yeah.
And the music and all's playing. You're like, see as a kid, you're fucking cheering. There's fucking, goosebumps.
I was still up for it, talking about it. I'm like,
totally.
Yeah, go get it.
I'm still a kid. I'm a big kid,
I'm like, get that fucker out of there.
Yeah.
He deserves to get home. Get him home. But this is where it takes a turn.
Yeah.
And this is, I know the second act of this film becomes more, action.
It's over the top action.
But it deserves it. It gets a pass. And the reason it does is why he gets pissed.
Yeah.
And as a kid, when you're watching this and you're just enjoying the gunfire, you don't fully
get it. Yeah.
You don't fully get it. But when he's being chased with the POW and co, and they're trying to get to that helicopter,
it's a brilliant scene. Brilliantly shot.
They're landing, and he's right there. Just land.
Yeah.
Murdoch says, "Abort the mission. We can't take any POWs.
Yeah.
We can't do this. And you're right, Martin Cove, Karate Kid fame.
Martin Cove. Yeah, he's also in Last House on the Left, playing a bumbling cop.
There you go.
Yeah,
he just took us out of.
There's a random reference there, but
wow.
Go ahead.
I say Karate Kid, which everyone knows. You give us cop number 2 last. But no, you're right. I mean, it's not. It's funny because I want to go back to this character. The pilot, yes, is played by Martin Cove.
Yes,
and God, it seems like he wants to land.
He does. He's on Rambo's side, but he to a certain extent. But he is sort of decision making is overpowered by his loyalty to Murdoch and the government. Basically,
he has no choice.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't disobey him.
Well, he was basically the sort of Cardley version. Cardley in the sense that he would prefer to obey orders than do the right thing. He was like the sort of Cardley version in that way of Rambo,
Yeah.
Because they're around the same age and, they're built like shit brick houses, Whereas Murdoch was just a bureaucrat, ultimately. A politician type.
That's why I thought when Stallone punched Martin Cove in the face when he gets out.
Yeah.
You kind of like, did he deserve that, really?
Well, I think he deserved a dig in the bake, to be fair.
Yeah, I guess
I think Rambo could have killed him, but he didn't. So yeah, he deserved at least a punch in the face for siding with Murdoch and obeying orders.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, but I'm probably overthinking it. But yeah, he's left there. Coe escapes.
Yes,
and it's him and the POW are thrown back into the POW camp.
And the big twist.
The pig swamp.
Yeah. Yes, with the leeches.
Oh, the leeches and the Russian.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see Stephen Burkoff. I'll give him a shout. We talked about Cobra, how that was the original Beverly Hills Cop script.
Yes.
Well, Burkoff was the bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes, he was also a bad guy in 2013 episode of Doctor Who. 2012 episode of Doctor Who.
Damn it.
Called The Power of Three. He played like this mad alien from another dimension. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. Even when I saw him popping up on the screen, which I knew he was, I've got to keep this one for the podcast.
You need so much help.
I know.
You need so much help. We got to get you off Doctor Who. I don't know if there's like a therapy session.
Doctor Who Anonymous.
Yeah. But yeah, this is where we meet Podolsky.
Yes, the big bad.
Yeah, I liked the torture
Burkoff's
scene.
a good actor.
Yeah, Burkoff sells it. And I do like the big henchman you got. You always got the quiet henchman, the big brute.
He reminded me of Zangief from Street Fighter 2, the arcade game. And I think I would suspect there's a chance that Street Fighter 2 based Zangief, the character in that arcade game, on him.
Well, maybe. You never know. Rambo probably had, like I said, with Predator has a lot of influences. Yeah. So Podolsky has told Rambo that we've intercepted your transmission.
Yes.
We know that you've been fucked by your own American government.
Yes. Burkoff's brilliant in this scene, by the way.
It's a good scene where he tells him what's he want to tell him. I can't forget. He asked Rambo to obviously he calls Murdoch.
Yes.
He gets Troutman and Murdoch on the little CB thing, and why? What's he supposed to say?
He's basically as far as as far as could work out. It's basically he has to phone Murdoch and say that he's been captured, and it's like a propaganda coup for the Russians. We've got your man type thing.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like rubbing it into the Americans.
Oh, okay. But two things they don't realize: Rambo's never going to say I've been captured.
Yep, and he's never going to stay captured.
They also don't realize that Murdoch is his number one enemy right now.
Yeah,
and this is the best part of the film.
Fuck, it's just a brilliantly delivered.
Yeah.
But even the build up whenever he goes into the microphone and Murdoch's blabbering away, we're coming to get you, Johnny, or whatever, or, Rambo, and Rambo grabs the fucking the microphone thing, and squeezes it tight, so tight to see his fist.
You got to give credit to the sound editor for that.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
This is after he's been tortured, electrocuted, and all sorts.
Yeah, and this is where it becomes This is my playground, bastards.
Yeah.
Because Troutman's talking to him, and we get you out of there, John. We got you back.
Yeah.
And Murdoch, you there? And then once Murdoch goes, oh my God, I'm so glad you're alive.
That's
what
right. He's a weasel
asshole.
bastard. Aye. Yeah.
And he just, you're right, grabs the mic, and he just says, I'm coming for you.
That's right. We're coming. He goes, we're
coming
coming
to
for
get you.
Murdoch goes, we're coming for you, Rambo. And then he goes basically, no, Murdoch, I'm coming for you.
That was so good. And then he just smacks the mic in the big guy's face.
Yeah.
Gets the POW out. Just
And
chaos begins. And we
it's
should say,
mayhem.
this is why Cole was a necessity. Because Cole was the one who he's actually able to escape.
Yes.
Because during this time, Cole, remember that Cole was underneath the floorboards.
Yes, that's right.
So he sees her. So he knows this is his chance to be Rambo. And she aids and abets him. And it is a good scene. That's why she is good in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
She's good little actress.
I mean, the action set pieces, and this is a good script for a Rambo film. There's no, and everything makes sense and works. There's a point of everything, and all of the characters. Now, regarding like the characters and stuff, Stephen Burkoff, while he's very hammy in it, and he's a bit of a pantomime villain, he is very good though, and he totally sells it.
Yeah, I mean, is he Russian descent, Burkoff?
He's British. He's English.
Is he really?
Yeah,
that was close. Because he always plays a Russian. I think that's right, because he's English. He's English, I think, in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, it's basically he's the generic sort of Hollywood rent a European bad guy,
Rent or you get Burkoff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, are you looking some sort of crazed Russian or Brit to like go up against Sylvester Stallone or Bruce Willis? Hire Burkoff,
Here's the scene with Cole that kind of hurts it a bit. It's unfortunate because I think she deserved a better ending. You pretty much know. You pretty much know she's gonna get it in any kind of film.
Yeah.
If you say, "I'm gonna go to America with you,"
right
there, that's the same thing. If you're a veteran cop in a film and you're gonna say, "I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna live off my pension," because the minute she walks out, she gets gun turreted by 100 billion. By the way, she
does make me laugh.
She wouldn't be speaking. By the way, she'd be dead.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. She wouldn't be speaking. She'd be.
But there's a certain like, and I know it is cheesy as fuck basically, yes. But there is a certain tragedy there because she thinks Rambo shot her.
What?
My understanding of, now I may be wrong, but because she has her back turned to Rambo, and I remember thinking this as a kid and sort of backed it up on this rewatch. I could be wrong, but there is a certain suggestion there that she feels that it was Rambo shot her.
No, because when she's dying, she doesn't say anything like that.
She does. She says, "You killed me." She goes, "Rambo." That's what the impression I was doing earlier. She goes, "Rambo, you killed me." Watch it again.
No way. Did she say that?
Yes. Watch it again. Now, unless I've completely misread it as a kid and as an adult, my impression was that because she's her back turned whenever she gets shot, is that she thinks that Rambo shot her and killed her. Watch it again. Again, like I say, I cannot confirm that, but that was the impression I've always had of that scene.
Well, that makes her death better.
Yes, 100%. That's what I mean. It adds more weight to it.
Yeah, I was laughing because I thought it was, I love you. They're all best friends. They're making out and stuff. Yeah. Then she gets blood.
But no, she say, I think she does say I love you. But yeah, it's like in the but she says, I'm almost certain. Softly she says, "Rambo, you killed me."
Anyone listening to this podcast should check that out. I'm very curious because that explains why he gets pissed beyond belief.
Oh, it adds to his. Well, he was already pissed to be fair.
No. I mean that explains where he. I mean, there's a scene after she dies. He takes her necklace or jade necklace, whatever, and then he buries her. By the way, it's the fucking burial ground is like a fucking mountain.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's wearing a necklace in the third one.
Yeah, and he's squeezing the dirt.
Yes,
maybe that's what he
with the bow and arrow.
I don't think that's what he got out of it. But I gotta watch that again now.
I as a kid, that's what I always believed. I could be misreading it, but I definitely think it's at very least suggested. And again, it adds to the sort of dramatic weight of her death. It's just a bit. There's just something corny about her death, but as well, it makes me laugh every time I see it. Maybe it's just
I won't laugh now.
Maybe it's just because I'm a sick fuck as well. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, that I give you.
But there is a certain dramatic weight to it. I mean, her death, her performance as an actor, you know, in the death scene is a bit fucking ropey.
Yeah,
it's a bit silly and a bit laughable. I think that's probably what it is.
She probably said, "Rambo, they killed me."
I'm almost certain she says, "You killed me." She speaks softly, and it's not 100% audible.
All right, I'm gonna check that out. That'd be interesting because that's an interesting take that he's blamed for.
Again, that could be Cameron.
Yeah. Cameron definitely got the darker tone stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, again, we go back to this is where he's like, it's
fucking brilliant. Like it's
great stuff. The camouflage in the dirt was awesome. Popping out of the water with the arrows, that's always been taken now.
Yeah,
you've got all these stealth mode kills. I love the scene where they drop the napalm.
Yes,
and then he's just slowly running and diving to get away from that napalm.
Brilliant. Yeah,
and it just spreads like wildfire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah,
he's just kicking ass. These grenade arrows, it's brilliant. The cornfield scene.
The cornfield scene's brilliant, and
when he sets them up.
Yep, brilliant. And how the Vietnamese commander guy, how he eventually gets it. You know, and even the stuff whenever he rescues the POWs, and you know they're fighting back as well and stuff. It's gloriously 80s. It's gloriously cheesy, over the top violence and all. I thought it was brilliant. I still do. I did back then. I still do.
Well, the reason I like it because it's not this. You know, we talk about cheese now, and that's fine. We'll get it. We'll have it.
It's a bit choreographed, but as well.
But it's the smartness of Stallone. Everything he does, you can see him doing. Like he kills the chicken or whatever it is, or goat, whatever it is, I can't remember. And he puts the blood, and he makes it look like it's his blood. Yeah. So all the bad guys go into the cornfield to follow the blood, and they find out they've been ambushed, and he sets the place on fire.
Yeah.
It's cool, and then some of the POWs start helping him, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
And he takes him in the helicopter. And then obviously this is a cool scene.
I love this scene. Are you going to say about with the gunship?
Yeah,
the Russian gunship.
Yeah, I forgot about.
He's pretending he's unconscious.
Yeah. So when he's fighting Podolsky and they're in the chopper, and they take a hit. So Rambo knows he pretty much has to land, but he lands and he pretends he's dead.
Yeah.
And Podolsky's about to shoot, and he shoots. He wakes up.
The rocket launcher.
You know. That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's such a cool scene.
Now, I remember
when Tay gets it. You mentioned it earlier when Tay gets it.
Yes.
He's the one who gets it with just the bow and arrow grenade.
That's right.
He just explodes. I love a good explosion on a person.
It's pure like over the top fucking death. You know, I mean, obviously Rambo went even more over the top with the third and fourth films and the fifth. But yeah, I mean, this is where it all began essentially as the franchise.
He didn't go over the top with the fifth. That was a disturbing one.
The fifth is like it's like an old exploitation horror film.
No, that's Rambo. You're thinking of Rambo 4.
No, Rambo 5 where he goes to Mexico.
That's not an exploitation. That's
I'm
talking
talking
about disturbing little when he goes to get his
I'm talking about the gore in it and the violence, the intensity of the violence.
But he had to because he had to go. Oh, we'll talk about. We might do that one because I think that's underrated. It's called Last Blood, I think.
I enjoyed it, but nowhere near as good as the previous Rambo films. But
I think it's better. I think that is the best one. His First Blood. You know, I'm gonna give Rambo 2.
I quite like the fourth one.
I like all of them.
Yeah, I actually. I
mean, they're not crap, but I'm sorry, Last Blood is a lot more underrated and such a disturbing. Sex trafficking his niece and
yes, I mean it's a serious subject.
Yeah,
but there's serious subjects addressed in the fourth one as well in Burma.
Oh, come on! I think that's so hidden with all the crap.
But I mean, it's a fucking Rambo film at the same time. I mean, he literally rips a guy's fucking throat out.
First Blood is more. I think the Last Blood goes back to its roots, where it's more independent.
A bit more.
It's more grounded. So that's why I liked it. But anyways, we're here. So Rambo, yeah. So we wait. So when he goes to give up his big, comeuppance,
yes,
Murdoch's, and he blows the whole place away.
It's brilliant. He just shoots the place up.
And Murdoch's trying to say, "Face, I'm so glad you made it. You got to realize I got to take orders from people too, you know."
Yeah, and George Napier is brilliant as Murdoch. It has to be said too.
Yeah, he is. He's great as smarmy.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
And then Stallone gives his little speech. I want what they want for our country.
the obligatory speech, you know. And then you have that cool. I love the song at the end.
And that's, you know who sings that, right?
Frank Stallone, isn't it?
Yeah, his brother. His brother sings.
Yeah. Again, more Stallone ego, nepotism. You know, get the brother on board as well.
There's a great documentary called
but it
Stallone.
Is good. Yes,
on Amazon Prime. It's called Stallone, but it's about Frank Stallone.
Right.
Yeah. And it's about how he's kind of piggybacked on his brother. And he's a nice guy because he's in Rocky.
Yeah.
You know, he's the guys who sing around the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's actually a very
good
good singer.
He's in quite a few of Stallone's films,
and he's done his own stuff. And
yeah,
seems like a pretty down to earth guy.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's cheesy song. There's a long way,
peace in a time. Remember the call, you know.
Peace in our life.
Yeah,
and he just got done. 75 people.
Yeah, it's a pure 80s power ballad, you know, cheesy. Yeah. But yeah, great fun at the same time. Now I remember my granddad, right, whenever I was a kid, I repeatedly rented this film out on video and watched it. But my granddad, who was a World War II veteran, fought in the Royal Navy. I always remember this day him coming in, and just as I was in mid-watch of Rambo 2, and it was around the scene where Rambo, towards the end, where Rambo rescues all of the POWs from that, you know, prison camp. And I always remember my granddad's words to me. He sort of sat down and watched a bit. Here he was. Do you know that is so offensive to the real prisoners of war and the real Vietnam veterans that, you know, fought in that war, and, you know, some of them, you know, survived, some of them didn't. And, you know, at the time I was like to myself, what do you know? You know what I mean? This is like the greatest thing ever, you know, the greatest film ever made. But I can sort of get his argument now as well. You know what I mean?
Because I can understand that, but at the same time, I always like to go by. Hey, it might not be.
It's fiction.
It's fiction, but at least they do have a point.
Yeah.
It might have people go look up about POWs and what they had to deal with and what's going on.
I did.
That's my point.
Personally, yeah.
It doesn't matter how you got there, as long as you're you know, educating yourself of what really happened.
100%. And also we know, because, like, you know, even as a kid we know that this isn't real. This is obviously it's based on a real life event, the Vietnam War and stuff. But obviously this is Hollywoodized, you know, fictional take on it. But there is, you know, obviously the serious stuff there as well, which it has to get credit for. And you know, it's and I'm guilty of it myself as an adult, of looking back on Rambo 2 and saying, yeah, it's, but with a smile, affectionately saying, yeah, it's over the top cheesy silliness. Yes, there is a bit of that, but to its credit, there is some of the serious stuff that we got in First Blood there as well.
Yes, and keep in mind, guys, they
lose the fucking plot in Rambo 3, but you know.
Yeah, they didn't want to do First Blood again. Yeah. So they had to do something different. So they did a different take on it. And I applaud them for trying something different. Is it First Blood? Not even close, guys.
I would love to read Cameron's original script.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's out there.
It's probably out there somewhere.
But at the end of the day, it's not that chismado that I thought like Cobra was or Rocky 4.
No, definitely not.
It's a little more grounded, and it does have, especially when you bring up Co. I got to hear that again. That she thinks said he killed her.
Yes.
But that'd be interesting. I'm gonna watch that. Yeah. And follow up in the next podcast if that's what happens.
Yeah, let me know, because I do know just your take on it, because there's ambiguity there. You know what I mean? It's not quite clear either way. But I have to say as well, for me anyway, it's by far one of Stallone's best films as well.
I'm not going to go that far with it.
I don't mean in terms of acting and stuff, but in terms of pure spectacle.
Yeah, no, it's a solid film, guys. I mean, it's up to par. Not up to par, but budget wise, I believe it was $15 million was First Blood. It made $125. This was $40 million. It made $300 million. So both films did very, very well, and they both kind of go in a different direction, which I kind of like. And you know, and the cinematography is gorgeous. Jerry Goldsmith's back.
Yep.
We're introduced to George P. Cosmatos, who would go on to do Cobra, Tombstone, Leviathan.
Brilliant supporting cast as well.
Yeah, good supporting cast. So, it's got a lot going for it, guys. And it's not brutal. No. Actually, I think First Blood's a little more violent because it's
more grounded.
Yeah.
When the context of the violence in the first one is more believable.
Yeah, because he's got to hurt cops. He doesn't want to do it. And, and it's they're both... I like when they do a sequel and they go outside the box.
Yeah.
And they've done this with this one.
It's basically, in a way, come back to the Cameron connection. In a way, First Blood is like Alien, and Rambo 2 is like Aliens.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to look at it. They're two different films.
Yeah.
One's
a more grounded.
I think one's more of a drama thriller.
Yeah, it is. I have never looked at
this one. Is more of action drama.
Yeah, just like Alien and Aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
But with and it's I mean, I loved this film as a kid, as I said, and you know what? I still have it'll always have a special place in my heart. As fucking corny as that sounds, it always will, because it's fucking Rambo, and this is one of the films from my childhood that made me fall in love with films.
Well, there you go. That's Rambo done. I was scared going back to it because I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm pleasantly happy that
it still stands up.
Still stands up. Exactly.
One of the best action films of the 80s.
This week has been active, as I told you in the beginning. iHeartRadio, FM Player. We're now, I think, 80% of the market. It's pretty good.
Yep.
We're going to take it. I don't know why. Yeah, so if you kind of try to turn us off, no matter where you go, we're going to find you.
Like Michael Myers in Halloween.
That's right. And we're not
right
running.
Behind you. Yeah.
We're just going to take our time. We're going to invest all your homes. Invest. Did I say invest? There you are.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, we do appreciate it. A lot more followers on Instagram at Citizen. So if you want to follow us or add some comments on Instagram, you can certainly do so at CitizenFrame_podcast, and as usual, go to Facebook. We got some fun stuff coming up. We are going to be doing Morbius, and of course the big one, Top Gun.
Yep.
And then we're actually thinking about it. We're in early negotiations, which that means yes or no.
Yeah.
The Friday 13th, the entire franchise, which would be fun. But Trevor, you're busy. You got a couple big things coming up, I believe.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about Phantasmagoria magazine should be coming out.
Yes, the brand new issue is now published. It's a Brand Lumley special. It's now available throughout the world from Amazon and also from select stores like Forbidden Planet and Belfast. Now, we are having an official launch at ChillerCon convention in Scarborough in England. And at that same convention, I have also been very flatteringly invited to chair a panel about podcasts. So, yep, it's all happening. So, obviously, Citizen Frame will be at ChillerCon.
Yeah, that was a last-minute add-on, which is kind of cool. I won't be there. I'll be busy sending autographs wherever I go because I'm always hounded by our fan base.
Yeah, and our fan base. Yeah.
All three of them.
And one of them's me.
Mom, Trevor, come on.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Listen, thanks for joining in. Have a good one. We'll talk soon.